Hey guys, this is Ferg from Poker VIP. Welcome to part one of a two-part series we're going to be doing over on GGPoker. So we're going to be playing 4 tables of 10 NL throughout. It's going to be the usual format as my videos. I'm just going to be doing a live play video, so I'm playing as I record. I'm going to be talking through my thought process as we go, and we'll see how we get on. So first hand up with the pocket kings up on the top right. Obviously not an ideal flop. We're not going to be folding just yet. We are going to check call one street anyway. Hopefully turn goes check check. We'll see what Lars likes to do. It does go check check. I would imagine we are going to be check calling rivers now. Betting seems pretty optimistic. He had the 10 and the queen for the goot shot and turned belly buster. So fortunately we held there. Win our first pot of the day. So GGPoker is a site that operates all around the world. They have a decent amount of Asian players from what I can see, which is supposed to make the field quite soft. This will be my first experience on the site, so we'll see how we go. We'll see if I can pick up on any population reads or anything like that. But I know of quite a few players that do play here, and they swear it is incredibly soft. So we'll see if their assessment comes true. We'll see how we get on. So as I say, we're going to be playing the 4 tables throughout. GG do accept UK and Irish players. Obviously I'm playing from Ireland, which is a big bonus. They've just been licensed fairly recently from what I gather in the UK. So if you are not on there and you like what you see in this video, make sure to sign up through the link in the comments section. King 5 in the small blind. We're just going to fold a pretty reasonable size squeeze here from the button. So we see we do have a few Chinese players and so on. Basically the general premise is that poker isn't as big in Asia, so the Asian players tend to be not quite as experienced as some of the European players, where poker is a much bigger game essentially. So that's one of the driving rationales behind why people think that the pool is quite soft. Flop and top 2 pair up on the top right table, the dream. We're just going to go ahead and raise here. A lot of really awful turn cards can peel off here for us, so pretty easy call. Pocket 9's no good. No need for insurance dealer. We don't want to run it twice now. We're good. We're good. I don't ever run it twice. I always just go one time. Hopefully it doesn't bite us. It doesn't. We hold and we bust him. Nice. But yeah, general rule of thumb, I don't really run it more than once. I suppose actually maybe for this video, maybe we should be running it 2 or 3 times. And actually, okay, that's what I'm going to do. Going forward, I will do that. Just to show off the features, because a lot of sites don't offer this kind of functionality. Or sorry, it's not that they don't offer it, but it's just they make it very visual, which is something that I quite like. They make it quite tense. They do it quite well. So there's a few things I've seen so far that I really like. They have these emoticons that you kind of pop up, so they kind of encourage people to take use of them. Like obviously every site has chat function. They have these abilities to put these kinds of things in there, but they don't actively encourage it, whereas this site seems to really want to make poker fun again, which I really like. We're going to go ahead and ISO here with the ace on the tray. Try to get heads up here versus the short stack button limper, who's probably not going to be a very good player. Unfortunately, our friend from Lithuania, Mr. Handsome179, sticks around, and I assume this guy is either going to... Oh, he folds. I wasn't expecting that to happen very often. We're just going to fire one and done here. Hopefully this guy just lets this one go. And do we take it down with our pair of trays? Looks like we do. Happy days. But yeah, as I said, I kind of like they really seem to be trying to make the site as fun as possible, which is like a big benefit for me. Like I think it's a fantastic idea what they're doing so far, based on what I've seen. I think this guy is going to show us a hand like pocket 8s, pocket 6s, stuff like that, an absolute chunk of the time, and I don't think we're ever going to get them to fold. So we're just going to go ahead and check this down. 5-6. Wow, that makes sense as well, I guess. I'm kind of surprised he didn't take a stab at it there at the turn after I checked him, though. I feel like he should have. He was getting the fold through. Oh wow, my word. Top 2 again up at the bottom right. We're going to check here to the short stack limper. Hopefully he'll take a stab, or hopefully the big blind decides to get a little bit out of line here. If this guy checks through, I was going to start betting most turns. This isn't really one of them. I think there's a pretty good chance that anyone is going to wager on a draw. If someone has a jack, they're definitely going to bet. And we have, I mean, essentially the nuts, right? And we have quads. So I'm just going to overbet here. I don't imagine we're going to actually, do I want to overbet? Maybe we don't want to overbet. I mean, it's just impossible for anyone to have a queen, really, except for, I mean, Robinho, I guess, can, but we're just going to bet and try to get called by, like, 6 or 7, something like that. Maybe some ace highs if they get really out of line. Actually, I don't know if calling with ace high here is that crazy. It doesn't matter. We get the fold anyway. Unfortunately, no one had anything. A7 is suited. We will be ISOing here if there's any limpers ahead of us. If this guy raises, we're just going to have to fold. If the cutoff had raised, we would have elected to go for a 3-bet. We're going to ISO here versus this guy. This guy limp folded there a few hands ago in a spot where he really shouldn't have been, so ace-4 suited, definitely good enough to be attacking this dude from Vietnam. This guy just jams here now after we pick up our 7. I don't envision ourselves folding here ever. I mean, sometimes we run into a 10, and if we do, then so be it. We're going to have the best hand pretty frequently. Set of trays, drawing dead. That's not what we wanted to see. Oh well. If we're going to lose the all-in, we may as well lose the one to the guy who had $1 behind, right? Ace-4, we decided to check here one street, give this guy a chance to make a second best hand. We're just going to have a wager now. We're going to bet 2 streets. So this guy, he just limp called and didn't make any attack at the pot on a board where, I mean, after we show weakness in the flop, it's definitely reasonable. I'm not necessarily should, but it's, you know, a lot of people will. But basically what I'm getting at is he seems like an extremely loose passive player. So we're going to be looking to take advantage of him a lot. I mean, it kind of sucks that he only has $2 in front of him, but it's still a pretty nice spot for us to be on his immediate left. And we're just going to top up. I don't have auto top up turned on here, which is going to be a little bit annoying, but hopefully we're not going to have to top up much. So you guys will see anytime that I do top up though, which is, you know, a bit more transparent for these videos. So far we're not up tons, but we are up, you know, a few dollars for the sake of 7 minutes work. We're not doing too badly. If we could maintain this hourly for the hour that we'll be recording, we would take a $60 profit. We were up about $1 a minute, I think. Jack's easy open, of course. Definitely wouldn't mind the short stacker going for the all-in, or this short stack. A lot of short stackers around. A lot of short stackers. So the good news is the short stackers are going to be quite bad. The bad news is there's not all that much money to take from them, right? Don't really want to see this guy lead here. It's going to just put us in an annoying spot. Or I don't think I want to be folding. We're going to check back here. We're going to bet pretty heavily here. Hopefully he's the sort of player who gets really sticky with, you know, a single heart in his hand. We have an easy call here. We're never folding. If he has a king, then GG. Oh, the ace-4 does the job. I mean, he had the gut shot with the ace of hearts, so I guess his call on the turn isn't outrageous. Bit unfortunate for us, though, of course. But by the time the turn rolls around, we are entirely committed there, so we're not going anywhere. And we can top up here now again. Ace-4, let's just complete. ISOing here may have actually been a bit better. I did not think my options through. Okay, so flop top pair on 2 tables. We just have a pretty trivial bet here with the ace-king. And we're just going to check call here. We're not going to get too out of line here with the ace-4. Pretty dangerous board. Definitely not a hand that we're going to be looking to play a huge pot on. If we get 1 or 2 folds here, that's fine by me. We do have the backdoor heart draw, which is not insignificant as well. So if we are behind now, we definitely do have some equity. Obviously, it really sucks if someone has like just a flop straight or hand like ace queen, but that's pretty unlikely in a limped pot, so we're not going to be overly concerned about that. Looks like you can chase your cards as well. You can see what would have come, which I'm a big fan of. I have seen other sites do something like similar things to that, and I definitely think it encourages kind of action. It kind of it just means that it kind of needles people when they fold and they would have gotten there, and it kind of encourages people to make looser calls just to be kind of results orientated in the future. So hopefully that works in our favor. Yeah, I'm happy after this guy calls as well. I'm happy just to check this down with the ace and the 4. I mean, I don't even know about calling here, to be perfectly honest. Given how passive this guy has been, I mean, I guess we chop a ton as well, right? Actually, yeah, sorry, I can't, you can never fold here with the amount we're chopping if we do the worst hand. If he has a king, then that really sucks. He has the king and the queen, wow. Okay, fair enough, but it consolidates my read that this guy is quite loose passive. So, I mean, obviously he had an absolute monster there, but he was just limping the king and the queen pre-flop in position, which seems a little bit controversial to me. So we lose some money there, but I have a feeling this guy is going to donate it all back, hopefully, to us. So we'll see how we go. Certainly okay with how I played that hand anyway. I mean, as I said, if we only ever see this guy betting with like really nutted hands there, we can fold. But given the amount that we chop with his versus his ace x, like we're chopping against all his ace x except for like, exactly ace king basically, or an ace ace. Given that there is the kings on the board and the queen as well. We somehow ended up with an all-in here. Ah, he's really super short, okay. Definitely good news, though, that he's just going with his last few blinds with the queen and the 8. And he was drawn pretty much dead on the flop. Shame he didn't rebuy. Obviously, it's always good when people rebuy because there's that added possibility that they're off on tilt. I'm just looking at like all these emotions. I'm gonna start using them. Actually, I'm gonna get really active with these emoticons and stuff like that. Cool. All right, the 8 and the 6. We are gonna let this one go. Mr. Handsome here we have at our table, so we have him at a few of our tables. We're gonna assume maybe he is one of the more reasonable players. I think he was involved in a hand earlier though that he didn't play amazingly well with. Oh yeah, I think it was him that had the 6-5 of spades where he didn't attack it at all after we showed a good bit of weakness, and he just took his 6 high to showdown and let us take it down with the ace high, if I believe, if I remember correctly. Pocket 6 is going to be good enough for an open. We'll be happy to call an all-in from Morocco for sure. Don't really want to see this guy flat and then this guy jam. That puts us in a much dicier spot. Pretty happy to see this guy fold. This guy just calls instead of jamming, which is bonkers. I mean, we're just going to be all in, I guess. I mean, kind of sucks here. We're not sure what sort of player he is. We don't want insurance dealer. Morocco just wants to run it once, so he wants to let the cards where they fall, and we are drawing slim. We need the 6 and the 6 alone. No joy, he's so good, he got there twice. So obviously he had the overs and the gut shot there. Obviously he is never ever considering a fold there. It's a perfectly fine call. I feel like it should have just been all in pre, but it is what it is, makes no difference. Would have been the exact same outcome either way. Obviously makes sense when you've got your last dollar that you want to just run it the one time. Not something I'm in the habit of doing. As I said, I never run it twice really anyway, but it's not something I'd be in the habit of doing, especially when I am down for my last couple of blinds. King 8, easy open from the button. And ace 9 suited, we're going to be opening from early position as well. So as I mentioned earlier on in the video, the site is available to all people in Ireland and the UK, and I believe they're fairly common across Europe as well. I'm not 100% sure about all the jurisdictions that this site operates in, but as I said, if you want to check out whether it's available or not, you can go on over to Poker VIP and check what deals are available in your country. The deuce and the 10, we're just going to be folding here. Hopefully this table fills up. Not that I don't mind playing shorthand, but when I'm recording, it just makes it a little bit tricky because there are just a lot more going on. It's kind of 4-6 max tables is a very comfortable amount to be recording for. It's like I'm very comfortable with the volume. When we're playing three-handed though, that's more like kind of 2 to 3 tables. It kind of speeds things up significantly. Alright, we're just going to lead here, start building a pot. It's possible someone has some sort of draw that might put more money in, but won't put any on a river unless they get there. And we're going to call here with the 10 and the jack. We get there with 2 pair. Hopefully there is the best hand. We're just going to call again here. I mean, raising middle 2 pair on this kind of board is dicey at best. We are happy to wager here now. Hopefully he just has a hand like ace queen. Seems pretty optimistic that given the action pre-flop though. Hopefully he's just bad enough to call down. He can definitely have like hands like 9 jack, 10, 9 10, stuff like that as well though. So we're going to go for value. Sometimes we're value owning ourselves against like a hand like ace-9 that just played it quite passively. But that's a risk I'm willing to take, trying to eke out that extra bit of value from the worst parts of his range. Definitely happy to be doing that. A king and a king. Let's go. Hopefully this guy is getting sick of us ISOing his limps and just decides to go with this hand. Okay, happy that the Vex 1988 sticks around. And we see the ace on the flop, which is not what we wanted to see. This guy just jams. Yeah, we're pretty trivial fold here now. Kind of an annoying spot. Kind of an annoying spot. Given our read on that player in particular, it makes it a very, very trivial fold. I don't imagine he's the sort of player that's doing that with draws very frequently, so calling there, I would imagine, is going to be losing us a significant chunk of money. Oof, this is spicy. This is a spicy spot. Given what we've seen from this player, I'm going to let this one go. I'm not happy about this fold at all, but it just gets extremely dicey. And like, this guy can be pretty strong as well. So we make the good fold. We're happy with that. And obviously we're going to see a 10 immediately on the flop. I can sense it. I can sense when these things are coming. Oh, we fade the flop. I love these anti-sweats where you just really don't want to see you would have gotten there. But hey, we're happy with the fold. We get away from a 30 big blind jam with pocket 10s, which isn't the easiest thing to do, so we're happy. And we're very, very comfortable with our read on this player now, which is wonderful news. And our 10s would not have been the best hand, although this guy probably would have called, so we probably would have doubled through that guy and made a net profit on the hand. But as I said, when this guy 3-bets under the gun, I mean, he should be pretty strong. I don't think this guy's range changes that much based on the action. He seems like the kind of player who's going to be fairly clueless and not very positionally aware. But as I said, this guy, the original 3-bet, he's probably going to be quite strong quite often, so we're happy enough. Okay, hopefully this guy jams. We have, I mean, not quite the nuts, but we have close to it. We're going to check back one street here, and we'll be jamming this turn. Hopefully just calls off with a flush draw. Or a king. King would be fine too. Gonna try to take it down here with our gut shot. We get the call. He has the oh no, he's drawing dead. We have the flush draw covered. Nice. Nice. And we take it down with the 6-7, which we definitely like. King Jack suited, we will be going for an ISO versus a single open anyway. Or versus a limp, rather, should I say. Depending on who opens, we will consider a 3-bet. Versus Mr. Handsome, we're definitely happy to 3-bet him in position. And we take it down, I believe. Yes, we do. Haha! I like these little emojis. I'm going to wreck people's head with them all day now. Alright, 30 cent, ace queen, let's go. And we're just going to check down our 4s here. Hopefully we're good. We are not. This guy just flopped the world and rivered the world and didn't put any money in at any point. Okie dokie. Just hoped I was going to do all the betting for him, and I did not. 10-4 on the button, we're just going to let this one go. We don't really fold suited cards here ever, facing a small open blind versus blind, so Jack Deuce is going to be a call. Pretty good flop for us. Pretty good flop. We're going to start building the pot here. I mean, if we just take it down now, it's far from a disaster, and we don't mind building a pot here as well. When we do get check called, we are going to check this back and see if we can improve. And hopefully he just checks this down. Definitely didn't want to see that. See, the really sucky thing here is that like he can definitely play flush draws like this that we're currently ahead of, unless, like, I mean, I think it's unlikely that he turns an 8 into a bluff here. So he's repping a queen, or he can have missed diamonds, but I'm just not convinced he's going to be doing this with missed diamonds enough. And it sucks, obviously, having the jack means that we block a decent chunk of his diamonds that he's going to be opening from this position as well. So we're going to let our bottom pair go. Unfortunate how pretty we flopped there, though. We're going to defend here. This 3-bet, we're getting a pretty juicy price, and we flop another pair plus flush draw. We're just going to raise here and get this one in with the amount of equity that we have. Oh dear. Did not want to see this happen. Let's see if we can see a free river. We're obviously not folding if he jams, but he's not folding anything either, so it is what it is. Let's see if he wants to run it 3 times. Declined, no joy. And we're going to be re-raising with our ace and our king. Kind of sucks there. Obviously, if we get it all in the flop, it doesn't make any difference. It's still the exact same, but we would have gotten it in with a lot more equity at that current point in time. But as I said, no matter what, like, the money was always going in no matter what anyway, so we're not going to feel too bad about it anyway. Oh, wow, we got all in here at some point. I thought I took this down free. I obviously did not. And we beat ace-3. Yes, we do. Nice. Nice. So I think that's put us probably down. That big hand there probably put us down a little bit for the session, but hey, it's not the end of the world. Obviously, by the time we reached the river, like when he jammed, we had to call it. I can't remember the exact amount. It was like 3 to win 14 or something to that effect. And I mean, it's possible our 8 is actually ahead there if he has like king queen of diamonds that just doesn't decide to rip it on the flop or something like that. I think it's pretty unlikely. I think he almost always has the ace. But as I said, I mean, we're getting such a good price anyway that it's a pretty trivial call off. The ace is obviously a really bad card though, just all round, because you know it negates a ton of our outs. Like versus ace 10, we had quite a lot of equity on the flop. Obviously, we have the pair, we have the flush draw, so all of our 2 pair 8s were still live, all of our trip 8s were still live, and of course our flush 8s were all live as well. When the board pairs, it reduces our flush 8s because the board pairs with our diamond, we lose still, and so on. So this guy telling me we suck, I'm just gonna say I'm so good. Man, I love using these things as a troll. Let's have a wager here. We have some backdoor potential, but obviously we just have 6 high, so we have no showdowns. So see if we can take it down here and now, which we do. Gonna make a point to use these emoticons now. Every single time I get prompted for one, I'm gonna try to use them. Ace tray, we take it down. Don't mind that. We have poker summy here, just limping along. Jack 3, not good enough that we want to go for an ISO, so we're just going to check this down. I'm actually going to take a stab at this here. Just yeah, when he checks back this flop, it feels like he's the kind of player that's just going to have limped in with kind of 2 random-ish cards and just playing pretty straightforwardly. So we get to take it down there fairly frequently for a fairly low risk. And we're going to call here multi-way pot, encourage Loris to stick around as well, and hopefully flop something pretty. We have backdoor hearts, we have a pair, and we have a gut shot. So that is, I wouldn't go so far as to call it pretty, but it is definitely something. Something good enough that we want to see a turn anyway. It's a pretty good turn. It's a pretty good turn. When this guy double barrels, I think he's going to have an ace pretty frequently. So I don't imagine there is a ton of merit in raising here when we have a hand with as much equity as we do. I mean, he can definitely still have, like, you know, sets and stuff like that. When we have the 5, we do block a decent chunk of those. But I think we are going to play better poker just by checking and... Oh, my... Oh, okay, with that delay, I thought we had the best hand. Obviously we do not, but yeah, given the ace-9 there, I don't think we're going to, like, I don't go out of my way when I've got a pretty solid read in someone that they have, you know, a top pair type hand. I don't go out of my way trying to bluff them off it overly often without a solid read. Now this guy is at a few of our tables, so we think he might be one of the more reggish players, but I just don't trust people to lay down top pair there, so I'm very comfortable just calling and seeing a river and being able to play quite good poker on the river. So basically my general plan there is just to lead when we get there. So if we improve to 2 pair better, we lead and expect to get called down very, very often. And if not, then we get away for the $1 on the turn. We're going to lead this ace here, see if we can take it down, which we do. King 7 suited, we're going to be opening from the cutoff. Pretty first card in the window, but everything after that was not so good. We are still going to have a bet here though, see if we can just take this down. We're going to be ISOing our friend here in the top left table, Mr. NemNemVT93. It's a kind of bittersweet card here, this 10, because he's definitely going to have some 10x. He's going to have some hands like, you know, 5, 6, and 7, stuff like that. That's going to be way less inclined to fold to a double barrel now that the 10 is paired. So we're just going to check this back, see if we can improve, and hopefully he just has like something like ace deuce that just got counterfeited. No, that's never mind. I thought we beat ace deuce. Hopefully he has like, you know, 4 deuce. That's a bit more optimistic. For some reason I thought we were ahead of ace high here, which is obviously dumb. We're just going to check this down here. I don't think we're ever folding it. Yeah, like that hand, like pocket fives and stuff like that, I think it's going to be very, very tricky to fold them out to a double barrel. Just given it's just, we're just really not repping anything at all, so except for exclusively a 10, you know. Okay, easy call here. Obviously, with our kings, he has the toppest of the pairs. No need for insurance dealer. It's okay. Let's run it 3 times. Okay, let's go 3 times. Oh, I declined. I meant to do it 3 times. I meant to do it 3 times. I did do it 3 times. Cool. I thought it said decline. Oh, I declined insurance. Okay. No 8, no ace. Nice. We ran it 3 times and we held 3 times. What are the odds? Fantastic. I love the way it shows up all your outs and stuff like that as well. I just think visually the site is quite cool. I think it's colourful, it's fun. There's a lot I like about this site immediately. Like I play in quite a few different sites and software is quite a big issue. And I have to say on GGPoker I am impressed so far anyway. I haven't noticed any annoying little bugs. Everything is doing exactly what I expected to do. And it's just, as I said, it's just fun. I love it. I'm going to be playing here a bit, I think. Queen 10, let's go for the ISO. Let's go for the ISO. We're going to lead out here now with our open ender. We take it down and we are going to attack the limp caller, and this ace is a pretty good card. We're going to fire again here. If he calls 2 streets, then we're just going to give up on the river, I think. But basically what we're doing there is we are attacking. Sometimes he just has kind of random overcards like that we are actually ahead of. He can just have his like 10 jacks and stuff like that, but he can also have some king highs and stuff like that that are ahead of us. But he can also have a decent chunk of pairs that are going to be really reluctant to call a double barrel on that ace, just because, you know, we're repping quite strong there when we follow through. It's just a good card for us. It's a good card for us to follow through. Occasionally he has an ace and that sucks when he does, but if he does, then hey, so be it. It's still going to be a profitable bet all round, so we're okay. On the occasional times that we get caught out, we're going to be okay. Now, we are coming to the end of the video now pretty soon. So we're going to play a few more hands, and as I said, this is only going to be part 1. There will be a second part as well, so if you've enjoyed what you see, make sure to like it. Make sure to, if you have any questions or comments on any of the hands that we've played, feel free. I always do my best to check all the relevant social media on YouTube, on Poker VIP, and so on. So make sure if you have any comments, questions, anything like that, fire them at me. I'll do my best to get back to you. This is not a very good board for us at all. So we're just going to check and pretty much just check full this one. It's not impossible that we have the best hand here. It's just not all that likely. And yeah, when Mirpo elects to lead here, we have a pretty trivial give up. I'm kind of surprised to see this guy check. I was expecting a river bet here pretty frequently from him. 10, that is a ballsy call down. And a pretty optimistic bluff there by the 6 and the tray, I think it was. I think he had bottom pair, I think. I think he turned a pair of 6s, was that right? I can't remember exactly what the board was. Seems like not a very good way to play, though. And let's play just one more hand on each table. Hopefully we get something fun. 7 deuce, no good. 6 queen off, no good. Jack 7 suited. It's our last hand. Let's go ahead and play it. And that is going to be me. This is going to be our last hand of the session. As I said, this has been Ferg from Poker VIP. Thank you very much for tuning in. And let's see if we can win our last hand. Let's fire our gut shot with our backdoor spades. We do get a caller. going to check this one back and bet on a jack or a 9. Yeah, we're going to get this one up. You win, you win, you win. Oh, wow. Ace, queen of hearts. That is a pretty good hand, sir. All right, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Take it easy and have a great evening.